Hello and welcome back to Here We Tow. Today I'm at TMD Motorhomes in the Midlands, a dealership that I've been to before, and I'm here to review this. Now this is the Adria Compact DL. Some of you will know that we previously owned an Adria Compact DL. We bought a 2021 model, so I'm quite excited to take a closer look at the 2025 model. There are some changes, more externally to internally, but it's nice to feel like I'm back home. So, Adria Compact DL, what do we need to know about it? Now, the interesting thing about the Compact is it's a great alternative to a camper van because it has a narrower width, and that is why it's been such a popular vehicle. Let's go through the facts and figures. It is based on the Fiat Ducato. It has the 2.2 litre diesel engine. It comes standard with 140 horsepower and manual transmission. You can have optional automatic, which this one at TMD has, and you can also upgrade to the 180 horsepower with automatic transmission. In terms of its size, so this motorhome, it's 6 metres and 99 centimetres in length, it's 2.1 metres in width, and it's 2 metres and 75 in height. Now the great thing is this vehicle has a gross vehicle weight of 3.5 tonnes or 3,500 kilos. So you don't need your C1, you can drive this on your car licence, and it's going to give you a really good payload of 550 kilos. And it is a practical usable payload because we tested it ourselves. If it isn't enough for you though, and you have your C1, you can go up to 3,650 kilos on the Compact DL. Now prices start at £79,000 with the fairly basic model, but once you've spec'd it up a bit like this one at TMD, you're going to be looking at somewhere near £89,000 to £92,000. So let's make our way around. I'll go through a few more facts and figures, point out a few of the optional extras that have been fitted here. So at the front, as we can see, the whole body is silver. This is pretty standard across the Supreme range on Adria, so you're going to get the silver body and the paintwork. On the front, the Fiat Ducato, the Adria badge, as we can see here. We'll make our way down the offside first of all. So on the offside, because it is a compact motorhome, we haven't got the longer arms. So this is good if you live somewhere where the roads are narrower, or you plan to tour somewhere where the roads are narrower. It's a much more agile vehicle. You will get the Fiat alloy wheels. And then coming down on the offside, up on the roof, this one has had fitted a 120 watt solar panel and air conditioning. Those are optional extras. Adria standard have the habitation door here on the offside, and the electric hookup point is just here as well on this front end. The awning, the black wind out 2-lay awning, this is an extra as well. There is the awning light, and then continuing down the toilet cassette point. Now here, this is where you're going to fill your onboard water tank, and this motorhome's got an excellent fresh water tank, 140 litres of fresh water, slightly smaller grey waste at only 85 litres, and it has now got an automatic or electronic grey waste dump. Before, when we had it, it was a manual one, but this is now automatic and electrically operated. This here, if you need to use a water pump, if you've got a water butt like an aquaroll, you can actually use this feed to pump water here instead of going to a tap. So that's what that's for. Then at the back end, we've got a garage. Now, I always loved my Compact DL garage. It is absolutely massive. For a 7-metre motorhome, you're going to get a whopping garage. Loads of room for bikes and equipment. And because you've got a good payload, chances are you're not going to overladen it, but always be careful on your rear axle. You can see here that we have got the 10 amp or 12 volt socket, USB and a plug socket for charging bikes or using any electronic equipment. There's also 2 lights as well there in the rear garage. So there we go. Heading round the back. Now this is very different to our 2021. This is the new rear end that Adria brought in a couple of years ago. So on 2025 models, you're going to get these LED lights. Pre-installation for a bike rack, although I don't see why you'd need to add a bike rack because of the garage. And this one's got the rear view camera fitted as well. So you can see the back end there on the Compact. It is a beautiful back end, I must say that. Heading down the near side, we've got a further garage door, and then a gas locker for 2 11 kilo gas bottles. And then there's the vent here for the Truma air-blown heating. Now this Truma system, if you're on electric hookup, you're going to run the air-blown heating off your electric. If you're off-grid, you can run it off your gas system, and that's why you've got a great gas locker for doing that. So there we go, that is the near side. Right, let's venture around and we're going to dive inside the Compact DL. So, opening the door does have a clasp so it holds in place. The window here, there is a blind, and the bin as well. There's no electric step as standard. You could fit one if you wanted. We never saw the need for that. It's fairly low down, but totally up to you. You do get a fly screen as well. So coming into the Compact, now what you do notice is because it's 2.1 metres wide, whereas a Matrix or Coral is 2.3 metres, it does feel narrower, and I certainly noticed that myself when I owned one. Up in the front, the multifunctional Fiat steering wheel. This one is the automatic, as I said. You've then got your infotainment system, your navigation there, the camera's going to come through as well, all the other controls. This is the standard upholstery finish that you'll get on this model. There are other options if you want. Adria embossed on there. So this is the cab. Now what I always liked, as you can see, there is this huge sunroof. It lets loads of light in. It doesn't open, but there is a huge long blind. It's just here that you can see. That pulls all the way up. So if it is a warm day or you want your privacy, you can close that. There's blinds as well in the cab at the front and the sides. And then you get these little lights as well. You just touch these. These are a touch press come on activation. Plug socket, USBs, and then further light switches for these different LED under-counter lighting. Adrias have quite a unique lighting function. You'll find that if you ever own one or you buy one. They have dimmer switches, and you press them and then you can't find the right switch for the right light. It's a bit of a novelty of Adria, which many of the owners will tell you about. The table. I always liked my fixed table. It's a folding table, so depends how much space you want on here, and the dinette style 2 bench seats. This is a 3-berth motorhome, but it does have 4 travel seats. So these 2 seats will actually convert into travel seats as well. And then you've got your front 2 captain's chairs. This area will convert into a bed. There's cushions for it. The table drops down, and this bed, if you wanted to use it as your 3rd berth, is actually 190 centimetres long and 90 centimetres wide. So it's a good sized bed for that 3rd person or child, whoever's using it. Right, let me dive up. So we have lockers overhead. As you can see, they are a push. You get a sticker, gives it away. Push function, we can see in there that. Under here, this is where the television's going to drop down from. Again, you push there, release this flap, and then you pull the TV down. It is on a bracket, so that'll come down. So you generally watch that from this side or those chairs. I'll close that. On this side, there's another locker cabinet there. And then coming down, I'll make my way into the kitchen area. Now, the kitchen, you do get a good sized sink, and under here, there are 3 gas burners and then worktop space here. Now, I must say, I generally would only use 1 or 2 rings. I think maybe it would be better to have more worktop space and a slightly smaller hob potentially, but you've got it there. You do also get the extractor fan here as well. The buttons to operate that are there, and you also have the plug socket, and there's a further light switch. Let's start up here. So let's give these another push. So if we push these, you can see the locker space. Now, you do get a good amount of storage in the Compact DL, and you can see the amount of size, the depth and height in that one, and then also this one here. Coming down, now this has just got the gas valves in there, so I won't show you that one. Sliding drawers. I seem to think I did have a cutlery tray in mine. They are soft close, and they're a nice light wood finish. This here, this is actually the cover for the sink. You can use it as a chopping board if you want, but that's what that is for. And then we come across, we have the Thetford gas oven and grill, so it will do both. And then there's a slide out drawer. This is useful for things like pans, or if you've got a kettle, something like that. Big items can go in there. These are strong drawers as well. So that's the kitchen area. If you need more worktop space, you're best to utilise the table. That's what I always used to do. Just going over here, so we come in through the habitation door on the off side. Control panel, this is where you'll get your battery levels, your water, all the information about the motorhome itself, and the control here for the Truma air-blown heating. Then there's this panel. Again, I think this would be better as a mirror. Instead, you do just get this, and that's the way it's been for quite some time. If we come down to the floor, now the floor, it is dirty, unfortunately. We've just got, this is a demo model here at TMD at the moment, but it's a light coloured finish on the floor. There are carpets for the flooring as well. I'll move back. We'll do the washroom as we sort of come round, so I'll do that next. Above, this one has had the Truma air conditioning fitted. We had the air conditioning unit fitted. Whether you need it or not, up to you. Personally, it's a yes from me. But the aircon would be situated here. And then, now this is interesting. Thetford Tower fridge and freezer. This is actually the optional extra fridge and freezer. As standard, you would get an 84 litre fridge freezer, and it is a compressor. It works off electric only. When you're on electric hookup, it will be running through the electric there. When you're off grid, it's your 12 volt system, and these are quite thirsty on power at times. This one here at TMD has been fitted with a second leisure battery, so you shouldn't have any issues, and you've got your solar panel as well. But it's just to bear in mind, this works off electric only. Now, standard as a 84 litre, it actually comes to about there. This one, as the optional extra, is 149 litres, and as you can see, you get a lot more space. You get the bottom part here, the slide out rack, and the freezer compartment and the door. So what you actually gain here is the tower fridge freezer. On the other one where it's 84, this is actually a door. You would open the door and it's a wardrobe, so you get a wardrobe underneath. So it depends whether a smaller fridge and a wardrobe is more important or a bigger tower fridge and freezer. In hindsight, I wish I'd gone for this because I missed my tower fridge and freezer, but that's a personal thing. Right, let me just step up here and then just drop down that. Now this is really handy. There's a good amount of storage under there. That could be for shoes or bits and pieces. Right, before I turn around, I'll just show you this. Now the steps up to the bed. Now there's two single beds, longitudinal beds, or you can convert this into an island bed. Under this step you will find some storage. It's on very strong springs. This is really useful. I found that useful for storing like bottles of water, tins of drink, things like that. Really good storage step. To use it as single beds, I'll just come up here. So if you're using this as it is as longitudinal, you've got the choice of the two. This one here is slightly longer. It's 195 centimetres, 75 centimetres in width. This one here is 193 centimetres long and 82 centimetres in width. So it depends if you prefer a bit of length or a bit of width. This one's wider, this one's longer. So these are the two, and they obviously go against the two sort of bulkheads there. Coming round, there's a little shelving part on the top. It's really just to dress the window. You do get blinds and also the nets as well. Then there are these overhead lockers. If I push and lift, just have a look in these two here. Again, plenty of space in here for your storage. There's no dividers, just nice and a nice height here. Great for bobbing your clothes in there. Close that. Underneath you can see the little LED lights. They have the USB chargers in, and then there's this headboard which is slightly padded as well. It's worth noting the amount of headroom that you do get here. Now this is interesting, and I will point this out as a previous owner. What Jules found was if he had his pillow like this, sometimes when he turned over in bed he actually caught his head on here. Some people suggested he sleep with his head down there. I didn't really think that was what we bought the motorhome for, but it's just worth mentioning. If you're a bigger person, come and try one out first of all. And then obviously we've got the window there on that near side. Above me, I've got another sunroof here. This does open so you can let ventilation in, and there is a blind and a fly screen on there as well. If you want to use it as the island bed or bigger bed, you can see just here, the slat. You're going to pull this out. It's going to come out here, and you use these other cushions just to fill that gap there. So it's up to you what you want to do. The storage under the beds, the storage under this side, and then here, if I just pull this out, you've got a drawer here under the offside bed. And I'll close that. And then you also have some storage here as well. Just pull this. Now this is quite interesting. I'll demonstrate this for you. You open the door, you can see obviously the storage that you're going to get under there, which is quite a lot. And then what you can do, if you're wondering how you're going to get in there, this door, on both of them, they do actually slide on runners like that, as you can see. So you can slide them back so you can access them from there. So that's quite well thought out. It's a good little feature. I'll step back up and close that. And then there is a privacy curtain, literally a privacy curtain, which is here, slides across there. Okay, now, all-in-one washroom here on the off side. It's got this nice sort of silver finish here. You just slide it across. It's got a magnet closure there. So I'll talk us through this. So that's slid open. Here we have the Thetford swivel toilet. Because it is an all-in-one, the compromise in this motorhome is it's an all-in-one washroom, but you're getting a lot of space elsewhere. There is a sunroof which does open for ventilation. There is the rail there to hang your towels. Now when you're using it, I'll step in, when you're using it as a washroom, obviously say you've got your loo there, you've got a sink here with the swivel tap. There is a little bit of intrusion from this mirror, but there's always a compromise. Here there is a storage cupboard. If I open this, good sized cupboard for all your toiletries, but be careful because there's no bar to hold them in place, so just be careful in transit. And then there's a couple of shelves here for putting bits and pieces on, and then the one lower one there. I think that's where I used to keep my toilet roll, if I remember rightly. Not that you need to know that information, just thought I'd share it. Right, when you want to have a shower, what we're going to do is this partition here, as you can see up there's a picture of pulling. You literally pull, it's on magnets. Give it a pull, it slides across like that, and this becomes your shower space. You can see you've got our plug sockets, there is, plug holes, there are vents for the Truma, and that is your shower head. So you are going to be able to shower. It's fairly confined, but again, you know, the size of the motorhome, got a light switch here. I used to shower on board, so it is doable. If you were a bigger person, again, come and try one out. Is it for you? Do you need to look at a coral or a matrix instead? So yeah, there we go. Right, let me close that. So that is the all-in-one shower room. When you've had enough, you push it back and there we go. And then we slide this across again. So there we are. One last look at our kitchen and our nice lounge area. And as you can see, as the sun's coming up, that light coming through, it is a really light and bright motorhome is this. Because of the white walls, the white cabinetry, the light flooring and wood, it is light and bright. Although it's a narrow motorhome, you don't feel confined in here. It's a nice one. Right, let's dive outside. There we go. So, that is the Adria Compact DL, the 2025 model. Prices start at 79,000, although realistically you're going to be going up nearer to probably that mark there, 89 to 92,000. This is a very good 3.5 ton motorhome. We really enjoyed owning ours, I must say, and I'd certainly recommend one, having owned one. In terms of insurance as well, I know when we had ours, I believe the insurance was around £500. Obviously, it totally depends on your level of risk and what have you, but that's where we were when we had one. Right, hopefully you enjoyed having a look. Thank you to TMD Motorhomes who've let us come and do a review today. It was nice to get back in there. So as always, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.